Hi guys, my name is Sandra and today I'm going to talk about The Giver, written by Lois Lowry. The Giver is a novel in which a young boy named Jonah lives with his Sign family, his father, mother, and sister. In this utopian community, everything seems to be perfect. There's no pain, suffering, feelings. They call this sameness. In this perfect community, everyone has a purpose. At age 12, they become adults in training and they get assigned their life's work, at least until they become old and get released. Jonah's dad is a nurturer. He takes care of newborns and gets to decide who stays in the community and who gets released into a place known as elsewhere. Jonas is finally 12 and he is in the ceremony and where he will be assigned his life's work. It comes to a surprise when the elder chief decides that Jonas has been chosen to become the new receiver of memories. Jonas began his training with a man who chooses to be called the Giver. The Giver will pass down to Jonas memories from all past generations. Jonas soon learns that these memories contain love, pain, and something known as color, something that people chose to give up in order to ensure sameness in the community. Jonas soon learns that people are unaware of such emotions and feels lonely because he can't share his memories with anyone but a baby named Gabriel. This baby was failing to thrive and was assigned to Jonas' father to help nurture and get strong. Sometimes at night, Jonas would transfer some common memories to Gabriel in order to help him sleep. Later, Jonas learned that the previous girl assigned to be the receiver asked to get released because she couldn't deal with the pain some of the memories had. He also found that the girl's name was Rosemary and it was the receiver's daughter. It was the giver's daughter. One day, Jonah's dad was going to receive twins and both of them couldn't stay in the community, so they were going to choose the strongest one or the one that weighed the most. When his father made a decision of who was going to stay in the community and who was going to get released, he then injected a liquid into the baby that was going to get released, and he really didn't get released. He got killed and later thrown to the trash. This is when Jonas found out that being released was actually being killed. That was the changing point in Jonas' life. Him and the giver decided to change things and made a plan for Jonas to escape. Once he escaped, the memories that had been transferred to him in the year of training would then be released to the community. They will also feel the love and pain he felt. The night Jonas was going to escape, he found out that Gabriel was going to be released, and he couldn't let Gabriel get killed, so he took him with him. Even though they got to escape, Jonas and Gabriel suffered physical pain and hunger. And at the end of the novel, Jonas and Gabriel found themselves too weak to continue the journey to a safe place, or also known as elsewhere. At the end of the novel, Jonas found himself on top of a hill and on a sled, and everything was covered by snow. There was a memory that the giver had transferred to him in the beginning of the story. And then he saw lights and he heard music. And it's funny because music happened to be a memory that the giver had talked to him about but never transferred to him. But he recognized that the sound that he was hearing was music. So it doesn't really say if they made it they made it to a safe place, but it leaves the window open for the reader to create their own ending. It could have been that, yes, Jonas made it to a safe place because he recognized music, something that he didn't know about, or he was just hallucinating, passing dying, and he was just imagining this. The only visual in the book, it's the cover, and I'm assuming this is the giver right here, because in the book it's described as an older man with a beard. So this is the only visual in there. A quote that I got from the book will be this part. But now that I can see color, at least sometimes, I was just thinking, what if we could hold up things that were bright red or bright yellow, and he could choose instead of sameness? He might make wrong choices. Oh, Jonas was silent for a minute. Oh, I see what you mean. It wouldn't matter for a new child's toy, but later it does matter, doesn't it? We don't dare to let people make choices of their own. Not safe, the giver suggested. Definitely not safe, Jonas said with certainty. What if they were allowed to choose their own mates or choose wrong? Or what if, he went on, almost laughing at the absurdity, they chose their own jobs. Frightening, isn't it? The giver said. Jonas chuckled. Very frightening. I can't even imagine it. We really have to protect people from wrong choices. It's safer. Yes, Jonas agreed. Much safer. But when the conversation turned to other things, Jonas was left still with the feeling of frustration that he didn't understand. He found that he was often angry now. Angry at his group mates, that they were satisfied with their lives, which had none of the brightness his own was taking on. And he was angry at himself that he could not change that for them. So it talks about how the community is. It just shows that the community cannot make choices of their own, that everything is picked for them, because they cannot bear to let someone make a mistake. And Jonas wasn't happy with that. He felt that they were lacking something and he couldn't do anything about it. So he felt frustrated. And it just shows that the community is just blind to whatever memories Jonas is receiving from the giver. I think a weakness in this book is that it talks about how people that are not strong enough, that seem to be weak, get released or killed. I think that could have an impact on the young readers, kind of saying, hey, you're not strong enough, you're lacking something, therefore you're not worthy of being part of, in this case, a community. So kids could, interpret that wrong. That's the only weakness I think I found, or that I think it is. I think this book is perfect for 6th, 7th graders. The language is pretty simple, it's understandable. There is some words in there that I myself didn't understand, that I had to Google, but I think other than that, it is a really simple book. An activity that I would choose for this book would be to have the students write about why they would like or would not like to live in a perfect place where choices were made for them. Everything that they decided had to go through someone, or everyone was the same. Would they like to be the same as everyone else? I would also have them share one thing that they feel makes them unique with the whole class, and just share their differences. What makes them unique? What sets them apart from the rest of the class? So yeah, I think that would be perfect for them to see that everyone's different, and that's fine. So once again, the book, it's The Giver by Lois Lore. Thank you.